The Oracle here. Today I'm going to be showing you a sports betting tool that literally pins the books against each other to get your picks hit rate up. And one of the strategies we will be going over literally does not miss. You will have a 100% hit rate if you use this. You guys that know me know I'm not BSing. I never say 100% hit rate, but this is literally a mathematical 100% hit rate. So with that being said, let's get right into it. Guys, I am switching the focus of videos from the short-term free picks every single day to more long-term value that can help you guys overall. So the video is not kind of just useless after the first day. These are going to be in-depth into the strategies that I use to help make my picks every single day. And this tool is something that's integrated into all of our models. We use it every day, and we're going to go over the strategies of how you guys can use it and profit from it as well. It's an amazing tool. So with all that being said, appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this video. Make sure to smash the subscribe button, and let's get into this tool here. Okay, guys, the tool we will be using today is called OddsJam, and they have been kind enough to even give me the Platinum Edition for today's video. Normally, I just have the Pro Edition, but for today's video, I have the Platinum Edition, and I have that free for the next 5 days, so I'm going to be testing that out, and I will probably make another video on that if I think it's worth it for you guys as well. But I've been going with the regular Pro Edition. I'll talk about what the difference is between those two are as well. And as I said before, we hook this up to our models that we currently use, and this is something that we're using every day. But the two things we're going to be focusing on today are positive expected value bets and then the arbitrage bets. These are the best ways to get value on OddsJam in my personal opinion, and these are the things that I use the most overall. So let's get started with getting into positive EV bets. Positive EV bets. What these are and how they can help you. So as you can see, for example, let's start it off. We have Chet Holmgren over 1.5 player made threes. Okay, what is this? What's going on here? So we can see on MGM, that's the book, at plus 135. But if you click on this, what a positive EV bet is look at where he is on all these other books. For example, we have Parlay Play here. He is minus 102 on there and is plus 135 on MGM. What a positive EV bet is you're basically taking the consensus of all the lines and finding the bets that have the best payout over that. That was worded extremely poorly, but so basically the consensus line here is plus 109, but MGM is giving you plus 135. So there is a 5% edge on the odds they're giving you over the expected value. So when you bet on this in the long term, for example, I have my bankroll set to here for something that would be kind of reasonable for you guys. I have it set to $3,000. You can set your bankroll to any amount on OddsJam, whatever your bankroll is. Normally when I'm betting, I set it to $100,000 because that is my normal bankroll. But for you guys, we edited it to $3,000 just so you can get an idea. So OddsJam will send you the recommended bet size. So if you were betting $3,000 total in your bankroll, OddsJam would recommend you bet $30 on this play here. So that is taking into account the probability plus the expected value we have on MGM. So if you guys bet on these plays in the long run, you will be profitable because you are pinning the books against themselves. These sports books are the best line makers in the entire world. No matter what somebody says, oh, I can beat the books here, I can beat the books there, it is just simply not possible to create better lines than the sports books do. They're the best at it in the world. So by doing this, you are creating value using the sports books against themselves. You're using the best possible resource you can against itself, essentially. So that is how positive EV bets work. They create value between the sports books themselves. So OddsJam does all the hard work for you. They give you all the books, all the bets that are best. So if you guys do want to go with positive expected value betting, then you probably don't want to be doing arbitrage betting, which we'll get to in a second here. But as you can see, it's not, a super popular time in the day. Optimal times, especially for arbitrage betting and positive EV, is around like 6 o'clock. Right now it's about 1 o'clock in the day on Friday today. So here, as you can see, there's a bunch of positive EV bets. And the higher this number is, the better. Honestly, right now, there's not that great. I like to stick with like 10% plus. So if there's a over 10% error, you go in, you grab it. So this is what you'll get with just the premium OddsJam. If you have the platinum OddsJam, you can also get live plus EV bets. So here's some tennis ones that they have going on right now. And the live, obviously, that's just going to give you a lot more options. It's the same idea overall, same strategy you'll be using, but it is just the live version, and that will give you a lot more options to use this throughout the day. All right, now that we've covered plus EV, let's head over here to arbitrage. So arbitrage, this is the 100% guaranteed side of things. On arbitrage betting, you can literally never lose. On positive EV bets, you can still lose. These are just regular bets. All it's saying is that the value the sportsbook is giving does not equal the value that the other sportsbooks are giving. That doesn't mean it's guaranteed. As you can see, this play only has a 44% chance to hit. But the odds do not match the implied probability. So the odds are like 39%, basically. They're saying this has a 39% chance of hitting, when in reality, the other sports books say it has a 45. But over here, in our arbitrage betting section, these are guaranteed bets. So, for example, Cork City versus Derry City FC in the Ireland Premier League. If we go on Caesars and bet $100, the line is minus 290 on Derry City FC. If you go on Pinnacle or Penny, it's plus 324. So you can see here, if Derry FC wins a game, you've bet $100, your profit will be $2.48. If Cork City wins the game, you will win $3.68. So, you were probably saying to me, man, I got to bet $100 just to win $2. That is true, but this is guaranteed money. You cannot lose these bets. And let's do a little bit. I know we set it up for you guys, if you have that 3,000 bankroll, it would be a little more difficult, but let's just up that to $1,000 bet. Now we're winning $24, $36. And these are guaranteed plays, guys. There's no chance you lose. You just have to make sure. OddsJam even does it for you. So some apps don't have the one-click bet, but this is an awesome feature. So if I was going to bet on this, I would just click this button here. I'm not going to, just because I don't have my BetRivers account set up on my computer yet. But if I did, I would just click this bet, and it will pull up both of the sports books immediately. Like, it will pull up this bet, whatever, John 2000 Regensburg over 4.5. It will pull up both of those bets on your computer, and you just click the amount. And something they actually just updated, the amount you put here will now be auto-filled, which is awesome. So you literally do nothing. You just click this button here. It will pull up both sports books for you As long as you're signed in and it's going to add the bets for you already, you just click boom, place, and then you're done. Guaranteed profit. So this is a guaranteed profitable way and something that you can try if you're new at sports betting. Okay, it sounds too good to be true. What are the downfalls? I have to be honest with you. I have to tell you both sides of the coin here. So obviously, if you don't have a crazy bankroll, sometimes these plays are small. Honestly, these are not great arb bets. You can get up to 10%. Again, I would stick with numbers like that. If you sit here and look at the prime time around 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock, you can definitely get 10% bets. If it's not a good day and you don't want to risk this for 2, there's no risk, but you just don't want to do all this work to get a 2% play, then don't do it. You can do it with 10%. Another downfall, obviously, you need to have all these sports books. If you don't have all these sports books, you're not going to be able to do arb betting. If you don't have Pinnacle, if you don't have Caesars, if you don't have Bet Rivers. But obviously, those are books you can sign up for. They all have promotions, so you could take advantage of that. But you do need to have as many books as possible, and you do need to have appropriate money on all these books. You can't have 100 on this book and then have 0 on here, then the arb bet won't work. So what I like to do so it's not as annoying, because, for example, I'm usually in Maryland or DC or North Carolina. There's a ton of sports books in all those states. So I like to go with like 4 or 5 sports books that I just use that I use for arb betting exclusively. 4 or 5 sports books for arb betting. I do arb betting on those, and that's it. Another important reason why you need to do arb betting only on certain sports books, and do not do arb betting on your main sports book, because you will get flagged. You will get limited by doing this. 100%, you will. And the ways to avoid getting limited are going to be not taking matches like this. Nobody bets on Cork City versus Derrick City FC. You need to find, here we go. Here's a good one. This is a horrible EV, but just for an example, let's say this was a 10%er, a 10% profitability. Chicago Cubs versus the Mets, home run line. That's not a terrible line to use. Hopefully we could use something even better. When I'm thinking about things like that, here's a beautiful one, player strikeouts. Lots of people bet on player strikeouts. It would be normal for somebody to put $100 or a $68 on bet on this play. Even $1,000, even $2,000. It would be normal to put this on player strikeouts. Try to think, what would be a normal bet? Would this look like something that's weird? Nobody is betting big on a game like this. Don't put a massive arb bet where you're betting $32 that just looks sketch. Why are you betting $32 on Cork City? Nobody knows what that is. And sometimes you might want to just put $30 here. 30 and 95 looks a lot better than 32 and 100. Just because it says 100 here doesn't mean you have to bet 100. Make it look like a normal bet. You want to look like a square when you're betting arb. And what I mean by a square is like a regular losing bettor. Oh, putting 100 here, 50 here. Try to keep it at round numbers, especially if it gets like weird. You don't want to be betting like 1652 on a play. Easy flagged. You'll get flagged like that in arb betting. So the positives are you win every single time. The downsides are you need a bit of capital. You need to have a ton of sports books, and you can get banned if you're not careful. You likely won't get banned. You'll likely get limited very heavily, and you should be able to run up a good amount of profit before this happens. And if you're mixing it up with a ton of books, this will not happen for a long time. I know people that do this professionally as their living and make over $40,000 a month, and they're experts, so they don't get banned. So just make sure you're not taking square bets, and that will put a lot on you so you don't get banned or limited at all. you really don't want to get limited, because once you're limited, the account is pretty much cooked anyways, because you can't really use it for arb betting. Then I would just recommend going back to your regular square betting style on the account, or whatever, just taking normal plays on the account. Hopefully they'll unlimit you then. And the last thing about arb betting that is a bit annoying, you need to be lightning quick. Why is it so important to have odds jam? You need to have this one-click bet function. These have been up for a while, but if I refresh, probably a bunch of them are going to disappear, because these arb bets go like that, man. They're 1 second they're there, especially if it's a 10% plus, it's going to be gone in a second. These lines are mispriced by the books. That's why you're available to get guaranteed profit, because one sports book is putting a line that is giving you way too much value. So you need to have the software. You cannot do this on your own. You need to have the software. You will not be quick enough. You will mess up. And one thing that you absolutely cannot have happening is you cannot get one bet in and then have the other side not go through. If you have one side in and not the other side through, then you can lose your money. You can lose everything you've built up. And when we're making small profits and making big wagers, that's going to kill it. If we lose $100 on this, it's going to take a bunch of our bets to get us back to that. So you need the software so you can be as quick as possible. And guys, I will leave the link below to the software so you guys can sign up anytime you want, and you guys can use OddsJam. So please use the link in description if you do decide to sign up. That will give me a little bit of a kickback as well. I'm not sponsored by them. I am just in their affiliate program. So full transparency, but I was using this tool before I joined the affiliate program. I'm not just doing this as some shill promotion. I think it is a fantastic tool for you guys, and I hope you were able to get something out of this video. If you were, please leave a like and subscribe as well, guys. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Let's eat.